The four levels of communication is probably the model that changed my life the most. Take it back, it's 6.5 years ago. I worked at a gas station. I worked and I didn't understand how to make money because I wanted to make money. That's what you want to do when you're younger. And I really felt like I was working all the time and I just didn't seem to make any money. And then I got a sales job and I sucked at it. But that 1 month, I made more money in my life than I ever had. I think it was like 2.5K USD. I remember thinking I could get commission as well. And if I got really good at this, then I could actually see myself making some money. And I stayed in sales for a while and I got really good at it. And that's when a mentor of mine presented a model. And I remember a very specific episode where I talked to one of my leaders at the sales job and said, "Congratulations, Charlie, you're making more money than me." I think I maybe reached maybe 4K that month, 4 or 5K. I remember thinking to myself, did I just make more money than my boss? And I didn't understand it. How could I had a basic education, how could I make more money than my boss? And one of our mentors explained it to me. He explained the 4 levels of communication. And once I understood that model, everything changed. Once I understood what the 4 levels of communication, I made more money, understood that it would decide whether I got into the relationships that I wanted, the friends that I wanted, to improve my relationships with my friends, family. Everything could be explained by the 4 levels of communication, especially in business. Because have you noticed, it's not always the people who's the best at what they do that makes the most money. It's the people that you and I know of. And that's what's so powerful about the 4 levels of communication. You can work hard, you can do everything in your power to actually make money. But if you don't understand the 4 levels of communication, you will stay broke. So let's get into it. The 4 levels of communication is a model that explains that depending on your skill set and the level of understanding on how to communicate, that will dictate whether you make money or not. So the first level of communication is one to self, I call it. One to self is your ability to communicate with yourself. Communication and connection is actually the same thing, almost the same thing. So your ability to connect with yourself, being able to regulate yourself, being able to look inwards, being able to see the world for what it is. Let's say that you have a young person and they come to me, "Charlie, I want to make 5K a month." Of course, first of all, you need to understand what is actually required to make 5K a month. Then you need to understand that it's actually possible. You need to believe that it's actually possible for you to be making 5K a month. And then also, strange thing happened. You need to be able to connect with other people because it's not that you have to make up the money. They are out there. Someone else is having your money in their pocket right now. And that's the next level of communication. The first is connecting with yourself, one to self, your identity. One to self is all about your identity and what worldview that you have. One to one is about connecting with other people. And the key thing here, this is where you can make really good money. That could be sales, that could be coaching, that could be also leadership for that, but anything where you are communicating with other people. And the best thing, in my opinion, to start with is sales. Sales is really about worldview. Sales is your ability to have worked on your one to self, your identity, and understanding the worldview that you want other people to believe in. And once you meet another human being, being able to be so confident in your worldview that your frame, your worldview is stronger than the other person that you are meeting. Making an environment where they understand the transformation that you want to explain to them and inviting them into your worldview and them buying into it. That's really what sales is about. That's the next level of communication. So we have one to self, that's your identity and your worldview. Then you have one to one, that's really your ability to articulate and communicate and creating an environment where you invite someone else to believe in your worldview. And if your worldview, your belief in your worldview is stronger than the other person that you meet, that's when you will transform them into believing in your worldview. So let's come with an example. Let's say that you're in a sales call. You don't need to be the best at sales. I have to coach hundreds of students in sales. And it's not the smartest, it's not the prettiest, it's not the ones who's the most confident necessarily in general. It's the people that have the ability to make an environment, but definitely believe in their worldview. You believe in your worldview. If you want to sell this pencil, you've seen, sell me this pen, right? If you're in a sales conversation with someone else, it's your worldview, you're confident, you know, I don't need this sale. I'm willing to walk away if it's necessary because I believe so much in this worldview that I'm detached, whether you want to join me or not, but I'm going to make sure that this worldview is being spread out. If you want to be part of it, okay. If you don't want to, it's fine. That's the core essence. It doesn't matter whether you're in real estate, it doesn't matter whether you're in high-ticket sales, it doesn't matter. It's all about believing in your worldview. The next thing, because I was in sales and I made good money. Then I started coaching business and I did it one-to-one. And I started making money, I could live of it, but I was always struggling. Let's be honest, in sales, you can make a lot of money, but there's a lot of people out there who's good at making sales. But the problem was every single month started from scratch. Started from scratch every single month. I didn't want to do that. Then I understood one-to-many. That's where my life changed forever. I remember sitting with one of my friends and we were on a holiday. We were on a trip together, me and two other guys. One of my friends, he bought a camera and we just filmed on iPhone early on because everyone can start with just an iPhone. And he bought a camera and said, it would be nice, I want to try this out. And we just made a video and we posted it on TikTok and on Instagram. And we posted 2 or 3 videos and then it went viral. I remember all of a sudden I had access to thousands of people. They heard my message. And I did it over and over and over again every single day for years. And that transformed my life because all of a sudden I had a message. I could invite people into my world, many people at once. And that's when I started making really good money. So one-to-many was my ability to do ads. It could be content. Really, also we have actors, singers, artists, everyone who has the ability to communicate one message to a huge amount of people at once. That's one-to-many, and that's where you're going to see you will make lots of money because all of a sudden the videos that I had posted, they were working for me 24/7. That's where I started to make really good money. There's a level above that. I call it legacy. It's perception. You can have 2 people that want to sell the same thing and they are posting about the same things. But person A has the ability to create an environment, the perception of an environment where you know, like, and trust the person. The other person just yaps. Which one are you going to invest your money with? It's not necessarily. The person who is not good at perception might be the one who has integrity. They might be the better option. But if the other person has the ability to make a perception, make you think that they are the better option, you will choose them. The market will always regulate if you're really good, but perception is everything. That's 4 levels of communication. And if you can master that, let's say that we have a real estate agent. We have a luxury real estate agent that comes in. The first thing I think of is, how do I make sure that the perception that other people have of this luxury real estate agent is as powerful as possible? So a question I have is, what's the most powerful, the most influential person in your network that you could sit down and have a podcast with or an interview format with? Ask yourself the question, who's the most influential person in your network that you could sit down and have an interview with? Because when people jump into your Instagram page and they say, hey, this person, let's say that you saw a reel or an ad, and this person seems nice, they go into your Instagram page, and all of a sudden you sit with, let's just throw a name out there, Elon Musk. Instantly, your perception of this person just increased. Instantly. You don't even have to think about it. Instantly, your perception of this person increased. So I always ask, how can I make sure that the perception of the client that we have increases? Also, I make sure that it's all about formats. Let's say that we have one-to-many communication. And also, a lot of people, luxury real estate agents, the reason why they feel like content is a waste of time is because you only focus on going viral. We don't want to do that. We want different formats depending on what it is that we want to have happen, what perception we want to have happen. So for instance, when I'm sitting and speaking directly to you right now, that should be informational. You should be able to jump in and see, all right, this is the 4 levels of communication. If I spend more of my time controlling my perception, spending time with powerful people and documenting it, if I get really good at speaking one-to-many and I go in, all right, one-to-many, that means running ads would be a good idea. Posting content would be a good idea. The difference between running ads and content is that it's easier for you to control the ads who you're targeting through your messaging. And you can push it, you can force it out. Whether It's a bit different, of course, with content. Content, I'd rather say it's know, like, and trust. Once they have seen an ad, I like that. Also, if you can go viral, don't focus on it, but if you can go viral, it's also really good to have short form content on your page. We can talk about that in a different video. But really what you need to understand is, if you have the ability to master one-to-many communication, talking to many people at once, making sure that the person on the other side feel understood, the ability to do that is so powerful. With AI, with everything happening in this world, your ability to articulate a message to many people at once is one of the most powerful skills in the world, by far. Take a look at the world we're at. Take a look at how things is actually panning out for most people. People might be working hard, but they are not working hard on the right skill sets. You don't understand. Like, so many people come to me. It's like, Charlie, I want to make more money. I want to have more impact. I say, okay. If you were only to choose one skill, it would be the 4 levels of communication again. Because when you go in and you make a format with the luxury real estate agent that we had, it doesn't matter whether it's a luxury real estate agent or it's someone who wants to make more money. Throw all of that to the side and just see it for what it is. It's human beings connecting with other human beings. That's all it is. Make fancy terms and blah, 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 blah. It's really just human beings connecting with other human beings. That's it. How good are you actually at connecting with human beings? So when the real estate agent is starting up, I say, let's have some different formats. One for authority. That could be speaking directly to the camera, giving information. We can have interview style podcasts where we have a chat about who they actually are. And we can have more relaxed where we're in the car, we're going for a walk, and we talk about their founder story. What's their background? Why should we care? That's why when you watch a series or a movie, the first part of the film, unless you know about the character, they make a build-up. Like, why should I care about this human being? Otherwise, we don't want to see the movie. When we have a real estate agent, we have a client, the number one skill that I'm using to try and change their life and their business is communication, human connection. That's the most powerful skill. Connect with yourself, connect with other people one-to-one. That's where you will start making really good money. And also when you work on yourself. Here's the deal. The self-help industry is a bit fucked up. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. A lot of people out there say they want to help you, but the only one who can truly help you is yourself. You need to make the decision, I want to my life to change. And then you can be guided by the other people, you have to do the work. And a lot of the self-help gurus out there, they want you to buy again and again and again and again. So one of the people that I'm listening to right now told me, the number one thing that you can do is just be of service to other people. That's also why I make these videos. It's for free. You can sit and learn. It's for free. It's just things that I've learned. I paid a lot of money to learn. I'm giving it away for free. Start improving your communication skills. Work on yourself. Learn how to communicate one-on-one. Learn how to communicate to many people at once. And then learn about branding, perception. How do other people view me? That's the 4 levels of communication. And I truly and utterly believe that if you master this, not know the model, but master it, embody it, live it. The difference between knowing something and living it is the overweight, the obese doctor. They know about health, but they don't understand it. They don't live it. They don't embody it. I hope you got something out of this video. If I can make you take just one thing along with you, is the life that you get, what you get in life, is directly proportional to your ability to connect with yourself and connect with other people, communicate to yourself and communicate with other people. That will decide what kind of life you get. It was a pleasure, and I will see you in the next one.